Hey Gemini, I hope you're doing great today. So this is going to be the end of August read. I'm just going to do the last couple of weeks, a general read. I'll do a deeper read by the end of the month. But I just want to do a quick read, and I'm going to do a different kind of spread this time. I'm going to do a yes-no spread. So just hang out for that. That's going to be, if you have something that you're needing some sort of answer. I've been getting a lot of requests for these. So if you have a question that it's just requires you just want to know, yes, no, and get a little more information. We're going to do that kind of reading where you're going to ask yourself a question 3 times before I pull the cards. Let's just discuss the astrology just a little bit. First of all, Gem, I feel like this is going to be very interesting energy for you guys, because we do still have Mars squaring that 8th house for you guys, which has to do with how you show up in relationships with other people or in business situations. 8th house has to do with your partner's resources, how you show up when you blend with other, intimacy, your business connections, when you're blended with other. So you do have the square going on there where you're going to know what you want to do, but you're going to have a lot of restriction when you're trying to do it, right? Because we have that stellium of Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, all of them are retrograde hanging out in there. So, you guys are still, we're going to be dealing with this for a bit, right? And I'm going to talk about this every single time. So, I'm trying to add like a little extra dimension, and also, because it is going to be going on for the next couple of months. But in addition to that, we do have Uranus going retrograde, stationing in the middle of the month, right? So you're just going to be feeling this for a few weeks after that. It's happening in your 12th house. So what's interesting here is you're just going to feel a little weird. You're going to feel a little like out of sync with who you are. You're going to be like going through something where you feel like you don't even like recognize yourself in your own skin, and you're going to be in this space where it's like, what is my life right now, like kind of thing. It's not going to last, and it's not necessarily bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just to have Uranus, which is so such an aggressive energy, but it's in beautiful Taurus, right, in the 12th house of where it's the house of self-undoing, right? It is where our dreams hang out, but it's the house of self-undoing. And Uranus it's retrograde, but it's about the future. So it's like, I'm thinking about the future, but now I don't know what I want, and what are my dreams? What are my wishes? I'm not sure. And I'm feeling so spiritual right now. And you're going to be having some nutty dreams, and write them down, because that really does help to kind of try to unknot them, and all of this stuff going on. So we're going to be having that going on. Also, now we have the new moon in Leo. That's the chart that I pulled here, the new moon in Leo on August 18th. I love this energy because I feel like as the month of August progresses, we're going to just start to become more clear on things as we go into Virgo. But Leo's such a positive energy. It really, really is. And it's harmonizing with the North Node also. It is forming a trine to Mars, and it is a quincunx to Saturn. So we're going to feel this. A lot of creativity, a lot of generosity in our heart, and all of this stuff that we're going to want to do. And we could do it, but we're going to have to do it in baby steps, because Saturn really is going to require that of us. So this new moon is a great time for formulating those goals, have to do with romance, creativity, hobbies, relationships with children, as well as your self-confidence, right? And just really healthy pride in yourself. Some Leo lessons include taking pride in ourselves as unique individuals, assuming more responsibility for our lives, giving warmly and generously to others. It's such 8th house stuff too, even though Leo's the 5th house, that's 8th house stuff too, so I feel like this is going to be a very good, great time to really kind of wake up the inner you, right, the inner child, and find ways to express yourself really creatively. And with this energy in Leo, we have this chance to make significant changes in our lives that'll benefit us way beyond this cycle. All right, it's time to make plans and set the stage for reaping the rewards from these new beginnings that we're planning right now, as little or as big as they may be, in approximately 2 weeks after the full moon happening, right? That's when we start to see these things happening. So plant these seeds of intention. But this is a very stop and go kind of energy. Something might be releasing, but then a block or obstacle can appear. These ups and downs can motivate us, though, to bring a new or clean slate to the situation, where it's like, all right, already, let me figure this thing out. And we're going to be able to finally do that. Now, those of you with personal planets and points at around 23 to 30 degrees of the fixed signs, right? So that would be Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius, right? So even though you guys are Geminis, you may have your rising as one of these, your Venus, your moon. So it's good to know that. And also 0 to 1 degree of the mutable signs, which would be you guys, Gemini, any of you guys are like 0 to 1 degree. Gem, and then Virgo, Sagittarius, or Pisces. I'm going to be feeling that this new moon most significantly. Okay, and then we have Mercury entering Virgo on the 19th. I really like this because this is where our speech is going to have some precision and thought, and we're going to be figuring out a process that's going to work for us. It's time we're going to be analyzing and deciding what's useful in our life and what's no longer practical to keep around. Getting rid of odds and ends, really focusing on the details, getting more organized. Not very exciting energy, but it's a good energy to get very organized. And then we have the Sun entering Virgo on the 22nd. Now it's the time when our focus shifts to the pieces of the puzzle here, guys. Little details of things that we haven't been seeing, right? It's why I've been saying, like, no one could see the pieces. We're going to start to see, bigger pokes of sun coming through. So it's time to take care of practical concerns, tending to the details of everyday life. It might not sound like a lot of fun, but it's definitely going to free you from that kind of stress that builds up from collecting odds and ends and unfinished things and things you have to do. Great time to get organized. Great time to pay attention to your health. If you've been having any kind of situation with your health where you want to be, maybe you thought you were on a really good routine, but it's not working anymore, right? We do have all this retrograde energy is making us revisit things. So really good energy to do it towards the end of the month, okay? So that is what we do have going on here. And we also have Chiron is retrograde in Aries as well. So there's a lot of healing because Aries is ruled by Mars. There's just a lot of healing, a lot of looking at stuff and all of that. All right, so let's get into this. Let's throw some astro dice, pull an astro card, and then we'll pull some Lenormand to get some backstory, what's happening for our Gemini friends. 4th house, Cancer is the landlord. The moon is the ruler. Gemini, all about learning. South node, releasing something that you believe to be true. Something that you thought you knew. Something that you thought you knew. Yeah, and you know what? This is coming up big time with this square to your 8th house where Gem, a lot of people are like, a lot of Geminis are like, I thought I knew exactly what I was doing in that relationship, in that partnership, in that business situation, and I still believe that my way of thinking is correct, and like that. Well, there might be something that you need to visit from your belief system, and maybe, just maybe, doesn't mean that you're wrong, but maybe you need to consider more deeply the position of the other person that you were involved with, in that situation. But there's learning that's going on here for you. And what I like is that it's going to incite a firm foundation for you. So I feel like this is very, very positive. Sagittarius, yes, that's so funny. Sagittarius is the South Node right now, my friends. That is what's happening. So Sagittarius is 9th house of belief systems, right? Sagittarius rules higher education. They're the teacher. It's also about travel and all that other stuff. But let's stick to the point here. It has to do with, belief system and knowing. It has to do with religion and dogma and all of that kind of stuff. Well, it's the kind of stuff that we establish as, I need this. Maybe you do need that, but maybe you can have your needs met in a different way. Just maybe. And this is the energy that's just asking you to think about. Just maybe. You might want to consider looking at something from a different perspective. Okay. All right, let's pull a Lenormand. The Star, something preordained, healing. It's a beautiful energy. It's preordained. Very positive. Then we have mountains. This has to do with obstacles. Then we have the owls. This has to do with communication, but not flippant communication. This is the kind of communication that's very deliberate, like from elders or from friends who love us, or the owls can also indicate needing to look at signs that are surrounding a situation, You want to make sure you're really looking at everything very carefully. Because we got a fox here. The fox is deceit. The fox is deceit. And then we have the dog, which is all about friendship. So if you are dealing, because the fox would be considered a challenging card, this dog could indicate a really good friend, a therapist, a family member who knows you really well, who has your best interest. This is about protection and friendship. But this could also be a message of saying, you know what to do. You are, at the end of the day, your own best friend. And you know what to do. So there is something that is very preordained, that's destined, there is a challenge, though, that's going on. But you are very stuck in a way of, I feel like, because the owls are wisdom and it's belief and it's communication, but it's even communication with oneself. So, I have to tell you now, because this is general reading, right? Some of you are, as I say, some of you are 20 years old in India, and some of you are 52 in the States, and some of you are 35 in Australia. Everybody's in a different space. So I'm going to give a couple of different interpretations of this. This I love, because this is all about, it really is about wishing on a lucky star, really, but it's preordained, right? Because the lucky star, what's so lucky about it is that it's fated, right? Which is funny because we're doing a yes-no read, but something that's very fated that's going to create healing for you, but there's an obstacle that you need to work through, and this wisdom is trying to access you. So whether this has to do with a job, a relationship, whatever it is, you are being made to look at some things that are very obvious. Now, the fox can come up just as a red flag, and the owls can just literally mean watch out for the red flags. So you want to make sure that you're watching out for the red flags in a situation. And I'm going to say, if this is in a relationship, your own red flags. You want to make sure that you're not being overly aggressive about a certain point that you need made, or about anything being pushed forward. You want to make sure that nobody is doing that to you. If this has to do with a connection in business, you want to make sure that everything is read. If there's any contracts being signed, if there are any agreements being made, just have the conversation. If you think you know something, make sure you confirm it. This has a good ending. The dog is a very positive card. It's protection. And this is a destined kind of thing. And what's also destined is the conflict that's going on here. Whatever kind of conflict you're going through right now, having to do with this situation, having to do with either this relationship, this job, this family connection, whatever it is completely necessary. It's completely necessary. You're going to realize in the end how necessary this particular time period is. Okay, guys, time to ask the question. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, ask the question 3 consecutive times. Ask it in full sentences, please. Full sentences, or I'm telling you, energetically, it doesn't work as effectively. It's very interesting. And I only pull these with my left hand. Oh, the Lovers got you guys. It's Gemini, and that's a yes. Page of Wands, second yes. Third, 7 of Pentacles, another yes. 3 yeses, my friends. 3 yeses. I'm going to put in the description box how the cards roll out with the yes, the no's, the neutrals. There's no, there's yes, there's neutral, and there are exceptions. So I'm going to put that in the description because I know a lot of you guys are learning tarot now. So it's definitely a fun read to do. Now, I never end it there, obviously. We need qualifiers, so let's see what we get for the Lovers, the Page of Wands, and the 7 of Pentacles. So, Gemini, you got yourself here with the Lovers card. The Lovers card is the need to make a decision about a relationship, the need to make a decision about a job. Decision needs to be made about this connection that you're involved with. Doesn't have to be an intimate, just because it's the lover's energy. It's anyone who we have a shared soul purpose with. So there needs to be a decision made. Now, if you make a decision to try to work something out, which I suspect you would be doing because it's upright, it's blessed by Archangel Raphael and the luminary of the sun, but it's also recognizing that whatever it is that you're in is not perfect. There's stuff. There are obstacles, right? You got the mountain and the Lenormand. There are obstacles that you have to go over, but if you guys are going to make that commitment to each other, it's going to really be okay. Look at this. We got the Tower. Holy moly. We like the Tower. We're not mad at the Tower. And we got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Some powerful major. We got 3 major arcanas right here. You know what? Let me pull the rest of them, and then we'll see. Don't be too scared of the Tower, because the Tower is very necessary to bring us on the path that we're supposed to go on. Okay. All right. So we have the Tower and the Wheel of Fortune. Remember, the Tower is a Mars energy. And Mars is just all up in our kitchen. Is Mars not right now? I mean, at the reading of this, anyway, it's like, what is happening? Everybody's like, you know, everything's boiling to the top. But regardless, the Tower is a Mars energy, also connected to the Chariot, which is also connected to Cancer. And long story short, that is Mars pulls us away from something that we're not meant to be in that way, which is not. We don't want to hear that sometimes, but seriously, that's what it is, right? And you know, the Chariot pulls us away from toxicity, and then it brings us, because it is a Cancer energy, it brings us to that metaphorical home space, right? The 4th house of home. It's about feeling grounded and rooted, right? So whatever is happening in this Tower energy is not meant for our highest good, whether it's that job, the relationship, whatever it is. But it's often, guys, it's often our way of thinking, our way, internal. We have internal towers throughout our lives all the time, right? So it's recognizing that we need to update the way we're thinking. It can be. This is a general reading, so I just don't want you to all flip out saying, oh my gosh, my partner's going to break up with me, or I'm going to get fired from my job, or whatever, right? Because this energy is being pulled for the end of August. But it's a way of thinking for many of us as well, where the lights come on and something needs to fall down, because it's not standing on a solid foundation. So if it has to do with that relationship, the way it was, it needs to end. It needed to end. You know, energy doesn't really understand the calendar. Time is man-made. So, you know, understand this could have been something that ended already, or it might be ending. So it's the way it was. Now, does it mean forever? No. I don't believe that there's ever a complete solid no in anything. I think that that indicates what the energies are right now, and that we use that as a barometer, right, to see, you know, what we basically need to do, what direction we need to go in to fix something if we wish to fix something, right? So, if, for example, this is having to do with a relationship, what was the issue? If somebody just doesn't want to be in it anymore, you can't mitigate that. If somebody is a serial cheater and they're a narcissist, you can't mitigate that. But if it was a gross situation where communication and just misunderstandings and all of that, well, then maybe that way of communicating needs to come down, and you guys can rebuild from there. Obviously, it depends. Same thing with the job. If the job ends, it was not meant for you, not in that way. It really was not, you know. And it has to do with that way of thinking. Maybe you thought that you knew how something was supposed to be, and how something, you know, we were projecting, perhaps, you know. It's going to be different for all of you, but that needs to be taken down. But there's got to be willingness to do that. Wheel of Fortune is the Jupiter energy. It's all about luck and expansion. It's a very fated energy, guys. I mean, you have a lot of fated energy in this. I have to tell you, there's no question this is fated. Now, for those of you not in a relationship, this could indicate you meeting somebody new, something having ended, and you meeting a new partner. pretty abruptly, actually. Abruptly sounds very negative. Suddenly, as that sounds better. It could be that. For others of you, this could definitely be a reconnection. This is a reconnection energy but the thing is this, with the Wheel of Fortune, if the bones of it was bad the last time around, it's not going to be blessed this time around. So you need to make the decision, were the bones good? And you have to be honest with yourself. Only you know the answer to that. Right? If the relationship had good bones, if you guys mutually respected each other, but there were a lot of insecurities running amok and kind of extenuating situations that you guys couldn't really control. It had little to do with how you guys connected with each other. You know what I mean? There's so many things that would fit the bill. Obviously, if it was something that was really disrespectful and really foul, like a narcissist, like a true narcissist, or somebody who was just like a serial cheater and having babies with everybody and stuff like that, well then leave them in the rearview mirror. They don't deserve you, truly. But then we have the Page of Wands, which is a great energy. It's very fiery, it's very excited, it's a new cycle. This is a page, it's not an ace. So page indicates a new cycle. But it's something that's like it's like a new approach to something. So really, this could be a new approach to a job. So this could indicate getting a new job offer, because we have the Knight of Cups here. So somebody can quite literally be offering you a new job, a new path, a new way forward. This could certainly indicate, a partner, Aquarius and Pisces energy. So a partner coming in and saying, everything's going to be different next time, this time around. We're going to, because Aquarius rules doing things differently out of the box in order to move into the future. And Pisces is all about our wishes, right? So it's the sharing of the emotions, and you guys going off onto this next cycle together, right? This new cycle, but feeling, let's just understand it for those of you resonating it like that. Then we have the Four of Cups energy, which is the checklist card, and I don't like when they do this, this, and this. And the thing is here, you want to make sure if you're going to reconnect with somebody, if you're reconnecting, that you're really ready. Because a lot of times with the Four of Cups, we think we're more ready than we are. And then there ends up being some projection, where it's like, I don't like when they do this, this, and this. Where in reality, maybe you're just not ready to be back in that thing yet. Or maybe you haven't worked out something from the last time you guys were around. It's what they're doing is poking in a scar in you that's not quite healed yet from a previous situation. And, you end up feeling disappointed about it, right? So even though this is very positive, there could be this underlying sense of disappointment and feeling like, oh, well, I'm not sure if I like this, and I don't know if I like that about them, and I don't know. You want to make sure, really get in touch with why it is that you're feeling like that. Is it based in reality, or is it based in your fears and your insecurities? You just want to make sure. I'm not saying one way or the other, but you do want to make sure of that. So that's for those resonating if you're reconnecting. Others of you can be meeting somebody brand new, because Aquarius and Pisces can also mean you meeting somebody new. That is going to be a very beneficial energy to your life. This is somebody different than somebody that you've normally, ever gone with before, and you're very excited at the prospect of entering this next cycle with them, but there's something about them that's just not right, and you might be able to verbalize it to your friends, but it's almost like you kind of feel like you're fitting a circle in a square, but maybe because you're not ready. You might not be fully ready. And that might be the thing, where you might be a little too critical of the person only because you're not fully ready. Or you might be, it could roll out a number of ways. If this has to do with the job, again, this could have to do with a new job offer coming in, but you feeling like once you're in it, like, oh, well, I don't like that they do this, and I don't like that they do that. And just saying, okay, nothing is perfect. You want to make sure, is this like a legit beef that I'm finding with this position, with this job, with this person? Or is it just me just not wanting to be in this right now because I'm not ready? I mean, it could just come out a bunch of different ways depending on how you're resonating with it. And then we have the Seven of Pentacles. Now, I do like this. This is a Saturn and Taurus energy. This is a brand new cycle. 7 always means a new cycle. of hard work that's going to bring lots of rewards, though. That's the thing that you can always count on with the Saturn energy, especially when it's in Taurus. You're going to be working hard. You're in the beginning stages of figuring something out. So for many of you, this could be you're starting a new business. For some of you, you're starting a new, the new semester's coming up. This could be some of you starting college or a new major or grad school or something like that, for those of you in that stage of your life. For others of you, this can have to do with it doesn't have to be starting your own business or anything. It could be starting a new position where you're really learning the ropes. Those in relationships, if it's brand new, you're learning the ropes of the relationship, but it's going in a good way, right? You know that inherently it is a good thing, and it's going to become increasingly clear to you. For those of you who are in the space of reconnection, you guys were building. So, where if you were together, you could be saving money for a house in this energy. You could be working really hard on figuring out your future together, and doing it really together. The Queen of Pentacles is quite literally, for some of you, a new job, right? The Queen of Pentacles is a Sagittarius and Capricorn energy. Sagittarius means moving forward with integrity, right? It's blessed by, it's ruled by Jupiter, which is about luck and expansion. And Capricorn is the landlord of the 10th house of career, of work. So this can quite literally be moving forward, ahead in work. That definitely is indicated here, this new position. That looks like it's going to be a very good thing, though it's going to be crazy busy. We have the 10 of Wands. You're just going to be like, I have to put the wands down. But listen, consider this more of a warning than anything else for those of you having to do with work, right? Because the 10 of Wands is an energy of overwhelm. And it's like you have 10 wands right in front of you, so you can't even see where your next foot is your next step is going. And I do call this the catch-22, because it's like, that kind of energy where it's like, what you have to do to make a change, but you don't have the time to make the change. This is the kind of energy that I'm feeling. Like you have so much going on. There's just going to be so much going on that you know that you're going to be in a position where you've taken on so much, and you know that something's got to give, but you really don't know what. And you want to be careful here, because you don't want anything from the outside coming in and taking anything away from you, or for you. So this is really about, it's a multitasker energy. Really try to organize yourself. Just consider this more of like a warning rather than anything else, especially as we're going into Virgo season. I'm not really worried about this with you because of the other cards that you have. So I'm really not. Now, for those of you having to do with relationship, I do feel like there's going to be something that's going to be growing within this dynamic that needs addressing. That's kind of happening in the 4 of Cups energy, and then it's going to come out in the 10 of Wands energy. Because the 10 of Wands can also mean like something very heavy weighing on you emotionally. And even though it's like you guys are moving forward and you're doing everything you need to do to move forward, there's something nagging at you that needs addressing. A conversation that needs to be had, clarification needs to be given on something. There's something that's really bothering you about something in the relationship that needs addressing in a way that's satisfactory to you. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think you know what I mean. Yeah, because the 10 of Wands does indicate the end of a cycle, right? It is definitely the end of a cycle because something becomes so overwhelming, it's just too much. But the end of the cycle can simply be, okay, sitting down and saying, okay, I need to reorganize how I work my life because I need more balance here. It could be that. It could be sitting down and saying, okay, we're moving forward in this relationship, but this thing still bothers me. And I don't know if I can move forward until this is addressed, but I see it going well. I do see it going well. I don't see it being really that much of an issue here. Let's just pull 3 closing cards. I haven't been doing this, but I feel like I need to do this here. 3 of Cups, celebration. 8 of Pentacles, beautiful. Nice. 9 of Pentacles. Listen, it's all good. Money looks good. 9 of Pentacles. This indicates either a promotion, more money coming in, a new opportunity. Those of you who are single, indicates meeting somebody who has their money on point. Could be a little boring, but that's okay. They're like a true blue kind of person here. They know what connection is like. Okay, it's good. 8 of Pentacles, very nice. This is the Apprentice card. Saving, getting your ducks in a row, really focusing, very future focused. 3 of Cups is a very celebratory vibe, Mercury in Cancer. Beautiful. So listen, I see it all going really well. I see your thought process, your belief system, getting a little talking to by yourself. That's okay. That's healthy and normal, okay? Especially in this energy. Just listen, just because of this square. And again, you're going to feel weird with the 12th house Uranus retrograde. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. This is temporary, but all in all, awesome reading, Gemini. Thank you so much for joining me. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.